Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Inside. Today we are looking at The Networks. This is by Formal Ferret Games. And it's a game for 1 to 5 players, ages 13 and up. Takes about an hour to an hour and a half to play. And it's a weird shaped box, so that I kind of don't like. So the initial impressions, that throws me off a little bit because it makes it harder to store it. Because it's taller than a box set for role-playing, which I have lots of those. So it's taller than that, so it won't fit on that shelf. And it's narrow, so setting it on its side, it's gonna, because it's so long, it's gonna jut out of the bookshelf. So I don't like when people try and get fancy with that stuff. It's very annoying. Just make it a standardized size. So let's hope that this pays off in the respect that it actually justifies its size. So here we've got to look at the board, and it's basically you're trying to build up from public access to being a broadcast network, so you have to get shows and that sort of thing. So this was put out in 2016, so it is a pretty recent game. So let's open it up and see what these contents look like. See if the quality is any good. Already I give it a strike because of the size and the weird shape of the box, but maybe they can convince me with the quality and the gameplay. Now, of course, because I haven't opened this yet, haven't had a chance to play this one. So let's see what we got here. Alright, so the rule book's a weird size too. That is not helpful. So let's see. Alright, so we've got a one-person game log. It's got a nice smell to it. I'll give them that. It's got that new game smell. It's only a 20-page rulebook. Lots of unnecessary art here that's not selling me. Yeah, I think they could have made this a little shorter, personally. It doesn't look like it needed to be this tall. The print's real big. They could have made this more of a standard size book. But there's not even that much really information. There's a lot of imagery on here. They could have condensed this down into a smaller book, I think. Because weird shaped books like this, if the box gets screwed up or something, you still have to store it. But there's an overview here. There is a list of contents and components. So let's go over this real quick. We've got some wooden scoring tokens. We got 62 network cards. There's a lot of little pieces here. So, alright, so let's get on with this. Let's see what we got here. Alright, so here's the board. Green room, reruns, archives, that sort of thing. On the back, it's just kind of generic looking. So let's get that one out of the way. Here's number 2. The board quality is kind of average. Be a little worried that popping these out, they're not the highest quality. I've seen worse, but they're just kind of average. The corners are rounded, that's good, but be a little worried about these dollar things getting a little scuffed up or torn when you pop them out. So that was the red and blue, and here's the green board. So and this is for 4 players. It's got the players marked up here. This one is 5. Use this side for the first season only. Flip over after first season, it says. So 5 players here. And this is 2-player only. Yeah, I don't think the box needed to be this big. They could have taken the money and put it on a separate card and knocked this down by this much, because these boards aren't that big, and put it in a more standardized size box. Really what I think part of the expense is going to be is because they had to custom make an odd size box. There's little sayings on the inside of the box too, along the wall, like it says here. I find television very educational. Every time someone switches it on, I go into another room and read a book. Groucho Marx. And there's one on each side here. The cost of a 30-second commercial during Saturday Night Football in 2014 is quoted slightly over $500,000. But yeah, that's cute and all, but it's a detraction from the fact that there's these giant inserts here with a bunch of little stuff sandwiched in the middle. That all, if they had adjusted the size of the cards in the rule book, like I said, they could have eliminated part of this and knocked it down a size. So the size of the box appears to be more for novelty than it is for functionality. So I'm actually kind of annoyed by that, because you're paying for them to make custom sized boxes when there are standard sized boxes that would work just fine. But they did give you some bags for bits. Alright, and then we've got a bag of little parts here. We'll look at that in a second. We've got a whole bunch of cards. So we'll look at the cards and the pieces here after I check underneath for hidden stuff. Nope, nothing hidden under there. Never know. So we'll get the box out of the way. The box is okay construction. It's pretty thick board, but the sides, I'd be a little worried about splitting like usual. And because it is an odd size, you're going to have to worry about this sinking in like the old 2nd edition D&D boxes. So I'd be worried about that, especially because it is a weird size. That's going to be a real issue. So let me zoom in and we'll take a look at these cards and tokens. Alright, so let's start with the tokens, because they're already in a little baggie. And I don't have to fight with as much plastic. Alright, so there's not much here. There's a little silica thing. Don't eat that. That's just for desiccant. Alright, so you've got a little black peg marker here. That's probably a first player token. And then you've got 5 different color circles and 5 different color squares. And then, of course, there's one of each matching. Then you've got some, they're all wooden. Then we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 little black squares. So, these are for something. Like I said, I haven't played the game yet. The desiccant you can throw away or keep it or whatever, just don't eat it. I usually throw them away because once you've played the game a few times, you know, you can always buy more desiccant. That stuff's pretty easy to come by. So that's our tokens. Let's get those out of the way. Let's take a look at our cards here. Alright. That's network cards, and we got season cards. And this has a star on it. And then I think that's advertising. So let's start with the network cards. Packaging opens pretty well. They're kind of a hideous pink color. Ooh, they're linen. Yeah, these are pretty high quality cards. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We got a clip show. All-Star Cast. Preempted Time Slot. Daytime Soaps. Audience Data. Agency. Award Show. Exclusive Rights. Writer. Syndication. Sweeps Week. Split Season. Spinoff. Showrunner. Flexible Schedule. Director. Viewers. Infomercial. Audition. advertising push, ad acquisition, big game, good branding, network defection, knockoff, executive producer, budget overruns, investigative journalism, corporate espionage, star sponsor, market research, clip show, all-star cast, preempted time slot, daytime soaps, audience data, agency, award show, exclusive rights, writer, syndication, sweeps week, split season, spin-off, showrunner, flexible schedule, director, viewers, infomercial, audition, advertising push, ad acquisition, big game, and lastly, good branding. Alright, so that's the network cards. Pretty straightforward. Let's get those out of the way. And we'll take a look at these ones with the star on the back. These are probably your shows. Alright, looks like there's some different stuff down here. So we'll put those aside and look at those last, because they were on the bottom. Oh, there's some different ones in here mixed in. What else is in here? Alright, so we've got two extras. These look like the stations. So we'll put those aside and we'll look at these ones with the star on them first. First up we have tabloid fodder. Sorry, the camera I'm using has an auto adjust, so when I move stuff it tends to try and move with it, and I haven't figured out how to shut it off on that camera yet, so I apologize. Sultry sexy lead. Square jawed actor. Physical comedy master. Serial award winner. Science fiction legend. Popular but unpredictable legend. Shakespearean trained star. Longtime star. Grizzled action hero. The cheeky friend. Director, writer, editor, star. Confessional star. Adorable hipster. Cult sci-fi actor. Socially conscious star. Satirical news anchor. Medical drama mainstay. Guy who shouts all the time. Late night talk show host. Intense dramatic actor. Former comedian gone dramatic. Fierce drag queen. Femme fatale. Dashing lead. Creepy vampire. Cable series star. That weird looking star. Soap opera star. Retired athlete. Reality TV judge. Reality show vote collector. Public television legend. Police procedural mainstay. New Year's host. Morning show host. That kid from the commercial. Comedian your parents like. Children's show host. Charity infomercial mainstay. Celebrity chef. Career stuntman. And lastly, always dies in everything. Alright, so these are the stars. Our star cards. Let's get those out of the way. And I think we should probably check these other ones to see if there's more of these channel cards in there. So open these up real quick. So yeah, it looks like there's these channel cards. So we'll look at those before we look at these $sign cards. So we'll look at U62 TV first. On here we have Hawkini's Jalapeno Hot Sauce. We have a talent show winner. Emergency Broadcast Test Hour. Breath mints around the globe. And lastly, unlocking your cat's psychic potential. Alright, so that's U62. And let's look at VCK or VCX, whatever that's supposed to be. Up first we have Gen 1400 Sports and Hobbies. Delusional Singer. Let's Pickle. Biannual County Bubble Wrap Popping Tournament. And lastly, Get to Know Your Lower Colon. So that's those. Alright, let's look at the PKW TV. First up we have Puxatawny Pizza and Subs. Failed mayoral candidate. Shopping Bag Review Hour. Grilling with Milk. And lastly, Know That Rash. So that's the ones with this back. And we'll look at ICS. First up we have Hipster Gaming Consoles for the connoisseur. Network VP. Litter Training Weekly. Name That Stain. And lastly, Cooking for Your Gerbil. Obviously a hard-hitting, important show. And we've got this Moo TV. First one is Shaggy's Rugs and Carpeting. Then we have Moonlighting Travel Agent. You too can play the recorder. What's in My Pockets? And lastly, Wide World of Forks. So that's our 5th team. Alright, so let's take a look at these star cards. We'll be right back after these messages. We have a promo. If you like this, you'll love. After the break promo. Stay tuned for promo. Coming up next, promo Yeti Yachts, Seismic SUVs, Luxury Spacecraft, Crikey Sneakers, Conspicuous Watches, American Beers, Wade Automobiles, Sassy Salad Dressings, Reflux Orange Juice, Persnickety Pizza, McTacos, Illicit Alana's Illuminations, Harry Hamburgers, Crazy Pete's Discount Plutonium, Clem's Clearance Firearms, Thumb Station Video Game Council, Plaque Blaster Toothpaste, Migraine Munition Painkillers, Krakatoa Instant Coffee, Gunmetal Chewing Gum, Diet Sugar Cola, Blue Jeans, Blast Radius Pure Sugar Cereal, Aztec Chocolate Bars, The Ultimate Apple Core, The Potato Nader, Squeaky Clean Mattress, Professional Typing Consultants, Perfect Ponchos, Genghis Cockroach Bug Zappers, Vanula's Fairly Fragrant Fish, Emergency Trousers Limited, and lastly, Broomhilda's Brilliant Brooms. Alright, that's those. Now let's look at our last pack. Alright, looks like we got a couple more network cards hidden in here, so let's look at those first. We've got Network Defection, Knockoff, Executive Producer, Budget Overrun, Investigative Journalism, Corporate Espionage, Star Sponsor, and Market Research. Sorry about that. We'll add those to the other network cards. Alright, so we've got different seasons here. We've got season 1, then 2 and 3, and then 4 and 5. So there's 3 stacks. Let's start with season 1, of course. This is coming soon. So let's see. We've got Cyber Slug versus Mecha Earthworm. We've got Chainmail Bikini Warrior, An Hour of Shouting, Celebrity Rhinoplasty, Very Charismatic Explosions, Awesome Industrial Accidents, The Wacky TSA Agent, and lastly, Old Folks Complaining. So that's season 1. Let's see what the season 2/3 deck has to offer. We've got the Bachelorette. Get it? Bachelor's degree, Bachelorette. Little Sister. Sports Edges. American Samurai Warrior. Cringe, Agents of Shampoo, Eureka Arg, Upton Krabby, Pulleyage, Once Upon an Enzyme, Person of Disinterest, Dexterous, Criminal Mindfulness, The Cubicle, Communisty, and lastly, North Lawn. Alright, so the parodies are a little cheeky. So let's take a look at seasons 4 and 5, 4/5. So you think you can flail. Babylonian Idol, Ultimate Fainting Championship, Monday Night Foosball, The Limping Treated and Released, Found, Dr. What, Paisley is the New Burnt Umber, Flea, Broken Worse, Red Bloods, Quiver, NCISIC BMOM GOMG Scranton, Tiny Pop Hypothesis, How I Left Your Father, and lastly 31 Paper. So obviously a lot of parody stuff here. Yeah, all in all, I'd have to say the game looks like it's probably plays okay. I'm not super impressed with the weird size box. That's a little annoying because it's just seems to be designed that way to be quirky. It's not functional. The board pieces don't require it once it's all popped out, so they could have just added a different cardboard for the money and shrank the other ones down. The card quality is really nice, though. I'll give them credit for that. So at least they did a really good job with the cards. I'd be willing to bet this was a Kickstarter, but I don't know that for sure. But yeah, overall, cards are really nice. The wooden tokens are fine. Cardboard pieces for the boards are pretty average. Nothing particularly special there. Not as thick as I would personally like them, but that would probably increase the price of the game considerably. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, I don't know. I really think this one is dependent on how much you pay for it. So overall, the quality is good. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. The cards are definitely some of the best I've seen in a long time. So the quality for that is there. But the boards, they could use some work. And the box is weird shaped for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So yeah, I would say if you find it for, I'd say $40, it's probably okay. It's a bit silly. It'll probably be dated in a few years because people aren't going to get the jokes for the shows they're making fun of. Especially younger players aren't going to get references to Lost, most likely. But yeah, I think the age range is pretty good. Age 13 and up, 60 minutes, 1 to 5 players. This one might be fun to play by yourself. I don't think it would be too bad for solo play. And I think if you got a couple of non-gamers, they'll probably be okay with it. I don't think they're going to have too many problems. So overall, I would say it looks like it's a pretty decent game. I don't like the rule book being so tall or the core box being as tall as it is. I think that was just gimmicky. But overall, it looks like it's a good game. But that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. And we hope to see you on the next episode of What's Inside.